I think this might actually be my first live video, so everything seems to a bit. It looks a little bit wonky right now, but I'm trying my best to set this up as best as I can. But look, this is the first time I'm going live, so let's just ride with it. Welcome, everyone, whoever is watching. Um, this is a Erete. And really, the reason I decided to go live today um, is not for the purpose of actually getting an audience in and maybe do some discussions and stuff like that. No, that's not the reason. Um, it's just a quick way to make a video right now. So, as the topic, Boris, the issue with Boris yesterday and today, and wow, the Tories, they know how to get rid of a leader. They're fantastic. They know how to get. If you're not performing, you're out. And this is us from sort of experience, my past life. I'm not going to tell you who I worked for, but other parties just don't behave like this. They don't. um, Now, you've got this a chap goes in groups, a couple of people at the Carlton Club, and Boris is actually going to lose the premiership because of these guys, simply because they could not get their ducks in a row. Um, they were unable to get a message out there that simply, um, look, I mean, we're talking about politics here. At the end of the day, it's a cutthroat business. You go in, somebody's done something wrong, you put him on the wayside. It's as simple as that. However, Boris, I don't know, I don't understand his loyalty. But the fact that he just can't be straight with people, I think that's just, sort of a character issue. The fact that you can't be straight, or you need to, why do you need to give an answer immediately? There's no need for it. Why do you have to give an answer immediately? When these questions come, the press are smooth operators. When the press come at you, you're entitled to actually go, look, I'm not going to tell you anything now. I'll see what's going on and I'll come back to you. But Boris just doesn't do that. There's a question, he has to answer. And of course, as we found out, some of the answers that have been given have not been exactly, shall I say, truthful. I mean, I don't want to accuse him of lying, but they have not been truthful. So I just want to address what is happening today. So far, we've had about 30, maybe less than 40 resignations. These are from bag carriers to, junior ministers. And I think we've seen about maybe four, what you call cabinet ministers, they've gone. Now, the guys that are left, and look, you know what? Anybody can say anything about Michael Gove. He's been very quiet since yesterday, hasn't really said anything today. I think there was a briefing to the press from his office that, yeah, he's solidly behind Boris. Well, I'll tell you something. When a guy does not really come out and says, I am solidly behind you, then you know he is definitely not behind you. And that's what we're now finding now, where a group of ministers are now going in to see Boris, and they're going to tell him, pal, your time is up. It's time to go. Like they did with, Margaret Thatcher, years and years ago. Um, and, what you're now having is this, even the guy who became chancellor only yesterday is now part of this group that is actually going in to tell Boris, mate, it's time to go. So, look, let's try and just break this down. We had Partygate, where he says, well, look, he didn't knowingly, or he didn't know there were parties going on and all that kind of stuff. People have different opinions. I have my opinion on that. Yes, you shouldn't be having parties, but of course, they have this thing where, especially for him, where he works is also his residence. And look, let's be truthful about this. The workers, so your SPADs, so special advisors, your workers at number 10, these guys worked during the pandemic. And they would have done that whether it was Labour or a Lib Dem Conservative partnership, or even, look, let's just say the SNP actually won the election, or, well, they got a majority, but it was not enough to form a proper government, and they were in coalition with another party. The special advisors, the workers, the civil servants who work at number 10, they're not 9 to 5 people. I know this. They are not 9 to 5 people. These guys get in very early in the morning, they leave late at night. Okay? But at the end of the day, yes, they're working, but also life goes on. These were not the guys who was going, oh, I'm working from home. No, they can't work from home. So these were guys who were going in every day during the pandemic and doing work. The work of government that allows the government to take over. Governance continues. So, yes, they were having parties. They were taking the piss, really. But then they would probably say, well, look, we've been there all day. We're spending maybe up to 18 hours here. How do you expect us to relax? Or whenever we got a chance for this, maybe it was somebody's birthday. Come on, we do birthdays at work. Everybody, at 2 o'clock or lunchtime, it's that person's birthday. We all get a little cake for the person. We get the drinks out. We have a bit of a drink. Yeah, in some cases, even wine. Yeah, it's in the middle of the afternoon at work. So things like this were going on. Now, what surprised me were like the pictures, because press were getting hold of pictures of parties. Well, obviously there was a leak within these parties who they were taking pictures, and then when all of these things came out, yeah, there you go, give it to the press. So I just want to get back to that. So you had Partygate and what happened there. You also had the issue of the decoration in number 10, where did the money come from? How was it sourced? All of that kind of stuff. There wasn't really a clear answer to that. We had the confidence vote. Yes, Boris won that. However, not, this was not a walkover. Then you get this guy, Pincher. I don't know what. I haven't got. Let's just call him the deputy chief whip. Is molesting. He has a history, apparently, allegedly has a history. So people know what he's like. So, of course, if people knew what he was like when he was given the job, why was there no opposition to the fact that they knew what he was like? This guy has got history. And let's be honest, actually, he's not the only one who has history in that House of Parliament. There's this SNP guy, just recently, look, I'm a Labour supporter, always have been, always will be. But we've had instances where, people get up to, funny things. So the issue here is, they go, well, why did you give him a job if you knew he was a pest? And you now go, well, actually, I didn't know anything about him and all that kind of stuff, which we now find out actually is not true. So is that a reason considering we know what Boris is like? Is that actually a reason to now get rid of a prime minister in the midst of everything that is going on right now? But I think when we actually look at this now, it's just the way the Tories go about getting rid of their leaders. They seem to have very short memories. They did this with Margaret Thatcher. 3 elections on the bounce with, good majorities. Boris has just got in. One of the best majorities you could ever think of. Okay, yes, this was done over, Brexit and all that kind of stuff. There's still an argument that Brexit really hasn't been done yet. Yeah, it's still, it's still there. We are still, look, Europe is not letting go. But the point is, he won a majority for the Conservative Party. There are a lot of MPs right now, today, that are in there for 8, 12 years ago. Tory MPs, forget it. It would never, ever happen. I can touch on areas where I'll tell you, if there was just one candidate and they were, from the Conservative Party, they would not win that seat. They would not even win. Look, people just, well, okay, maybe they would win because everybody would decide not to go and vote, and then one guy will go, well, the guy will actually vote for himself, so that means he wins that seat. But there are areas where not a single Conservative MP would even get in. It is just unheard of. This guy comes in, bang, off you go. We're looking, 1997 Tony Blair-like sweep. And then a few years down the line, this same guy that you know what he's like, this guy's economical with, he's always been economical with the truth. Was he not the mayor of London? Okay, fine. He's got this charisma. He does this thing. He does that. He wins elections for you. Now you want to get rid of him. Now, I will tell you something for free. I think that, yes, Boris is the architect of his own problem. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. However, when you have a target on your back, I don't think it's advisable to keep putting that back towards the people who want to put something on that target. And that is exactly what has happened to Boris. And I think that the reason he's having all of these problems, guess what? These guys are having problems because of this cost of living rise that we're all experiencing now. Yeah, we've got, at the moment, we are struggling. I put petrol in the car the other day. Size, just a normal size car, £100. Now, I know that 189 is never going to go back down. It can plateau on that, but it will never, ever go back down unless there is a government directive, even a diktat, a decree that then says, guys, you need to decrease by 10p. If not, the petrol price will stay at where it is and is likely to go up. So we look at all of the issues that we've got right now in the country. Yeah, they're saying, oh, there are lots of jobs out there. Oh, we've got, why are people unemployed? There are actually more jobs out there. Well, not if the terms are rubbish. We just had the strikes only a couple of weeks ago. If things were rosy, people will not be striking. COVID has not gone. COVID has not gone. Actually, it's on the increase. Let me tell you something for free. You can't even go on holiday because EasyJet, BA, they're all canceling flights. So even if you have money to go on holiday, The likelihood is you get to the airport, they've cancelled your flight. So what are you going to do? So we got all of these issues. You're not getting rid of this guy because of all of these issues. You're going, oh, hold on a second, but they're world problems. So we can't really blame Boris for that. But you're now going to blame him because he didn't say that he knew that this guy is a pest. So you're going to get rid of him because somebody groped somebody else. Wow. Well, as I said, the Tories really, really know how to get rid of their leaders. They don't care. Once they have you in your sight, if they got you in their sights, that's it. Eventually, you would go. Now, so what's actually happening right now? Health Secretary, Chancellor, they both resigned within 10 minutes of each other yesterday. Obviously, look, it's not rocket science. They've probably been talking to each other, they planned it, and then bang, they've gone on. Now, they knew the effect that they were going to, that it would actually have. Okay, great. So that happens. Then, some others are now going, okay, your bag carriers, PPC of that one or this one or that one. They're now resigning here or they're resigning over there. They're resigning here, they're resigning over there. But you're thinking, well, we don't actually know who these people are. So what? However, overnight, into this morning, we're now looking at 40 odd MPs who have resigned in various jobs. Some we know, some we've never ever even heard of, but they're resigning. They've resigned. Now, it's not a coincidence. Calls have been made. As the first guys, calls have been made. Guy, come on. Are you with us? Are you without us? Promises will be made. Even people who will not become leader, who think, well, I've got a chance of leading, are making promises to people saying, look, don't hang around. If you don't resign now, man, when I become leader, I'm going to overlook you. I will overlook you. So all of these phone calls, it's all been happening overnight. Because power is like, it's an aphrodisiac. Yeah, as people are talking right now, there's some people who have set up their phone bank. They're already doing a leadership campaign already. He hasn't resigned. They know his time is numbered. They have not even, he hasn't resigned yet, but people have started their leadership bid already. They've set up their phone banks. Some have called, party donors, the multimillionaires. Man, are you gonna support me? I'm thinking of doing this, I'm thinking of doing that. Even the Tory party donors are probably speaking to Boris now going, man, come on, it's time to go. Thank you very much for everything, but it's time to go. But then I think that the main thing here, and I think this has got to do with wings of his party and also the media, is that Boris has not been forgiven for taking the United Kingdom out of Europe. He's never been, that's why I say, when you have a target on your back, don't be showing them that back. And that's what's happened to him, because he has never ever been forgiven within his party and also within the main media. Because I can't even, you look across the board. Paper media, online media, broadcast media. Everybody wanted to remain. That was everybody wanted to remain. And at the end of the day, this guy had the gall to run a campaign that secured a Leave victory. Although probably I should have been run again, because I'm sure some voter fraud must have happened there. But it should have been, so he did this, he got that campaign going, got the United Kingdom out of Europe, and then, of course, Theresa May then had this terrible job of trying to come up with a deal. She was unable to do it in the end. And okay, just blame Parliament for that. I think she was honorable in the way she went about it. I don't think, I think at a certain point, I think she realized that, look, this thing had been, the United Kingdom said, that's it, we want to leave. And she had to get the best deal that she could. Obviously, people tried to, sort of block here, block there, and all that kind of stuff. So it was difficult for her. And of course, she then had to leave. Now, Boris, the architect, now becomes PM. I won't really say he got a deal because, for all intents and purposes, United Kingdom is still in Europe. He's trying to break agreements here or there, but the main thing is that the fact that the Brexit happened meant that he was never forgiven. There was no way he was going to be a darling of the press. It wasn't going to happen. The people within his party who just absolutely could not stand him because of that, and they were just waiting in the wings. You see them, I'm not going to mention any names, but, whenever there's anything anti-Boris, they come on, they talk, they do this, they do that, they do that. Now, I personally want to see, good governance, make sure that the country is run properly, there's integrity within the political arena. So my question is that where does Labour actually come in? Where does Labour come in to take advantage of this? Would Boris actually be brave enough to say to these guys who are knocking on his door, because they're all going in? I think the 1922 group, they're probably going to have a chat with him. Look, guy, time to go. Chief Whip is going, hey, guy, look, time to go. All the guys who were backing him yesterday are now going, man, it's time to go. Even the guy he appointed as Chancellor yesterday is also going in to say, it's time to go. So is he actually going to now say to these people, you know what, I'm calling a snap election. If you do not think that I'm good enough and you think it's time for me to go, I'm calling a snap election. Would these guys want to risk going to the polls? Is Labour ready? That's the big question. Is the Labour Party ready to take advantage of the malaise that is going on right now? Because, man, Labour been out of power for a very, very long time. We need to get back in. It's about time. Yeah, they're saying, look, I'm going to, allegedly, a lot of people made money out of the COVID situation. I'm absolutely certain it would never have happened under, the Labour Party ruling this country. Not in the way that it's happened this way. So Labour needs to take advantage. This is, we don't need, to be honest with you, I'd rather this guy was still there. Yeah? I'd rather Boris is still PM. Okay? There are two ways about this. Either he now comes strong from this, or he's just always going to be weakened because his party are just not supporting him, and he's limping and he's limping and he's limping. It's like he's got an open wound and blood is just coming out slowly, and eventually he's just going to fall over. For Labour to pounce and take power. We don't need a new guy who is now going to just push things up and raise them up. No, we don't need that. Yeah. Anyway, look, this is my first live. Anybody who, watches it, I think the comment section might be on. Let us know what you think. What do you think? But I'll tell you something, the Tories know how to get rid of their leaders. They're just good at it. And they're cold-hearted. They don't care. You could give them a majority of I think there's 650, God knows how many seats. Get 600 and let the parties share the remaining 50 or 60 odd seats. When they get fed up of you, they'll get rid of you. That's just the way they are. They're savages. Anyway, let's see what happens overnight into, is he going to go off to the Queen and go, you know what, I'm resigning? Is he going to, just stay there, kicking and screaming, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not going anywhere? I think that would be good for the Labour Party. But look, whatever you think, if you think I'm wrong, if you think a new leader would is good for them or he should stay. And of course, if you are also, not a conservative and you're Labour, let us know what your point of view is. Where do you think this is good for the Labour Party? Do we need this guy still in there or do we need him out? How is it beneficial for the Labour Party? Hey, Lib Dems, don't bother commenting. You're way down there. You ain't gonna get anywhere. SNP, we can't form a government with you. Yeah, because Labour would never support another independence referendum. We just won't do that. So look, thank you so much. As I said, it's my first live. I'm sure people will be telling me, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to improve on this or improve on that. Yeah, that's true. Maybe I need to get a bit of a structure. That's true as well. It was a snap thing. I needed to do it very quickly. The kids are not here because if they were here, they're just going to be making noise left, right, and center. So I thought, look, let me do this very quickly. Any comments you've got, obviously, the bad ones, I'm trying here. Do it gently. But thank you very much for watching. If you like, subscribe, do the like button. Any comments you've got, I'll try and answer. But thank you very much for watching. And hopefully, I might do a few more of these. But thank you so much.